Hi, today we're going to again continue Galatians chapter 5 verse 20, and we're going to speak today about outbursts of wrath. Outbursts of wrath. And you might be thinking, well, I think I've got a pretty clear idea what this could be, and you're right. I mean, there's no hidden meaning to this. It is what it is. And but it does say here that it's actions emerging out of strong impulses. And tomorrow I'm going to speak a little bit more about that in its entirety, because a lot of times people that have these outbursts of wrath, it's usually caused by a trigger, some pain that they're carrying in their life. And if we can identify what that is, we're one step closer to being delivered from it. But I want to read a scripture here, Proverbs chapter 22, verse 24 and 25. And it reads, "Make no friendship with an angry man, and with a furious man do not go, lest you learn his ways and set a snare for your soul." And so it's saying here about that it is possible for us to learn the ways of an angry man and and their behavior, and eventually it says he set a snare for our soul. In other words, what that means is that the learnt behavior can be so deeply ingrained in our life that it actually, that's who we become. And the scripture here is saying, make no friendship with them. There was a guy that I worked with a number of years ago in a workshop, a mechanic, and this guy, he used to be like this, these outbursts of wrath, and he thought it was a pretty cool thing to do, just to vent his frustrations. And this is what outbursts of wrath mean, venting anger, this rage. And yet the amazing thing that I found with this guy, he would just get so frustrated with something that this outburst of wrath, you would hear his voice echo through the whole workshop, but 5 minutes later, as if nothing was wrong. And that used to really amaze me. I've never seen anything like it. And but this is what happened. But the fact is that the point I want to bring out here is this man considered this to be a blokey thing. This is what blokes do. And he'd already been, as I was aware, on his second marriage, because this very problem had burnt out his first marriage. And his second marriage was already on the rocks for the same thing. And so, this guy just said, well, that's just who I am. And he was quite happy to be like he was. And that is a problem. People that are like that, the scripture's saying that make no friendship with them. We can minister to them, and there's a big difference between ministering to a person and becoming friends with them. And so you may be working in a place today where there is a person that fits the same description. So you don't have a choice. You work with them, but be careful who you make friends with. The old saying, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. It's exactly what the scripture here is saying, is that make no friendship with an angry man. This is the condition of their heart, is that these are actions out of strong impulses. And the scripture here is saying, and do not go do this, because you'll end up learning their ways. And in other words, we'll begin to do exactly what they do and be who they are. And that's the last thing we want to do, and set a snare for our own soul. So, when we speak about outbursts of wrath, that's exactly what it is, and can be very damaging to relationships. And again, there is healing for this, there is deliverance for this, and again, by walking in the Spirit. And when we walk in the Spirit, we won't fulfill the lust of the flesh. And so tomorrow I'm going to speak about a different scenario of a person, outburst of wrath, and we'll have a look at that tomorrow and see what we get out of that. Be blessed, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.